Biכורים Perek Beis, Mishnah Tes. We gave an introduction to Mishnah Tes from the last Mishnah, where we're talking about this animal called a koi, which is a suffix in halacha, whether it has a din of a chaya or a din of a behema. And the Mishnah tells us, Keitzad shover lechaya. In what respect is this animal, this koi, compared to a chaya, a wild animal? Mishnah tells us, Domai to'un kisui kadam chaya. The blood of a koi needs to have kisui hadam like a chaya. The Torah tells us that whenever we shecht either a chaya or an oif, a chaya such as a deer or an oif such as a chicken, some of the blood that comes from that animal has to have kisui hadam. It has to be covered in earth. It's a mitzvah deraisa, and we make a bracha when we do it. But kisui hadam does not apply to the blood of a behema. Mishnah tells us that like a chaya which needs kisui hadam, so too when we shecht this koi, we need to do kisui hadam to it. Ve'ein sheichtin oisai b'yontif, but we do not shecht a koi on yontif. Ve'im shachdai, and if we do shecht it, ein mechasin es domai, we don't do kisui hadam. Now the halacha is that on yontif you are allowed to shecht behemoths l'tzayich oichel nefesh. In order for a person to eat on yontif, he's allowed to shecht, he's allowed to cook. However, when we shecht an animal, we need to do kisui hadam. Because here we're talking about a koi, which the Mishnah has told us just previously that mitam sofik, we don't know whether it's a chay or behema, but mitam sofik we do need to do kisui hadam. We are unable to do this on yontif, and that's why we're not allowed to shecht a koi on yontif. Why are we unable to do kisui hadam? Because although we have a rule in the Gemara and Beitza, which brings Daf Ches, which brings this Mishnah, we have a rule, Efer Kira Muchanhu, that the ash from an oven, which we're allowed to use on Yontif, is Muchan, it's prepared to be used for Kisui Hadam. So if it's prepared for any other animal, why isn't it prepared for a koi as well? The answer is because there's a presumption that it's only prepared for a vadai. It's prepared for an animal which definitely needs Kisui Hadam. Since a koi only needs kisui hadam mitam sofik because of a doubt, so the efer kira, which is usually muchan for kisui hadam for any other animal, is not muchan, is not prepared for the kisui hadam of a koi. According to this, Mishnah Rishona brings down that one might have thought that if a person specially prepared earth before Yontif, specifically for the purposes of kisui hadam for a koi, that really and truly you now should be able to shech that koi. However, the Gemara in Beitza gives an answer and tells us that it's not allowed, even if a person prepares special earth for the purposes of kisui hadam for a koi. Why not? Because if somebody sees you doing kisui hadam, they will presume, you're shechting the behemah on yontif, you're doing kisui hadam, it must be that the Rabbanim have decided that a koi definitely has a din of a chaya. In order to take away this mistaken impression from people, because they would have enough nafka in halacha, therefore the Rabbanim have said, you are not allowed to shech the koi on yontif no matter what the circumstances. The Mishnah continues by telling us, and the Mishnah continues, V'chelboi metame betumas nevela kechaya. The chelev, the fats of this koi, are metame tumas nevela like a chaya. What does that mean? What is tumas nevela? An animal which dies without shchita. For instance, it dies of old age. Such an animal is a nevela, and its carcass carries with it tumas nevela. In the case of a chaya, we say that the chelev, the fats of that chaya, carry with it that same tumah of the animal that's died of tumas nevela. Masha ein kain, which contrasts with a behema, the chelev of a behema which has died does not carry with it tumas nevela. Here we're saying that the koi has a din of a chaya, and the chelev of that chaya will carry with it tumas nevela when the koi has died. The Mishnah continues, v'tumosoi b'sofik, but that tumah, which we're talking about here, where somebody has become tomei because of the chelev of the chaya which has died, is only a tumah b'sofik, which means that if a person walks into the Beis HaMikdash when he's tomei from the koi, from the chelev of the koi, he is only tomei b'sofik. So unlike a normal person who is definitely tomei and walks into the Beis HaMikdash b'mezid, he is chayav kores, and if it's b'shoigeg, he's chayav to bring a korban chatos. This person who's only tomei b'sofik from the chelev of a koi is not chayav kores and is not chayav a korban chatos. The Mishnah continues and finishes, Ve'ein poidin boi pete chamoi. In the case of a firstborn male donkey, which the Torah tells us the owner has to take and be paid it, he has to redeem it with a kohen, he has to give the kohen a seh being either a sheep or a goat. He cannot, instead of the sheep or a goat, use the koi to be paid this pete chamoi. Why? Because since it's a suffix what it is, it may be a sheep, but it may not be, it may be a deer. Therefore we cannot use it to be paid the pete chamoi. In fact, Tosfos Anshe Shem brings down here that we seem to be taking on that the koi is a suffix sheep or goat rather than being a behema lifnei atzmo, rather than being a beria b'fnei atzmo, a completely separate species. If it was a separate species, then I wouldn't need the Mishnah to tell me that I couldn't use it to be paid a pete chamoi. The Torah tells me specifically I can only use a seh, I can only use a sheep or a goat, so of course I can't use anything else. And therefore he says that we seem to be taking on here that we are talking about some sort of a species of sheep. Ve'ad kan Mishnah Tes.